Hi Pisces and Pisces rising, here is your horoscope for September 2025. I'm Astrologer Joseph Anthony. Alright, get ready because your life is about to change in the next 3 to 6 months. And this is because there are 2 eclipses that are going to affect many of you. So if you're a rising sign in Pisces or you have a sun sign in Pisces, this reading is for you. It's based on Western tropical astrology using the whole house system. It's a very, very general overview of what's going on because we take the sun sign or we take the rising sign, we put it right there, and then we could see where all the planets align. Everyone's birth chart is different. Everyone's alignments are different. So we have to use a general sun sign, but it still will have a lot of accuracy to it, about 70 to 75% accuracy. But why do I say the next 3 to 6 months are going to change, maybe even up to a year? Because there is a lunar eclipse in Pisces right here in your first house of identity and self. And eclipses can take up to 3, 6, 9, 12 months to manifest themselves. It's a major turning point in astrology. It symbolizes a cycle that's coming to an end, a conclusion, a realization. And that's going to be profound when it happens in your sign or your rising sign. The other eclipse that's going to happen is the solar eclipse, which is an opportunity, and this happens usually they happen in opposites. So we have Pisces and your opposite sign is Virgo. So we have one that's going to light up this 7th house of other people, relationships, partners, business partners, enemies, anything to do with other people is going to be highlighted here. Okay, so big month for many of you, and you'll see it start to unfold. Now, there are some other dynamics that are taking place this month that I have to address. And, it's a little tricky. The month is absolutely a little tricky, no doubt about it. Fortunately, you have some saving graces here. You have Jupiter in Cancer in the 5th house of creativity and love and romance and fun. So either you're a little bit more playful or you're taking everything with a grain of salt and you're not over worrying about anything. This month as we go into the month. It's going to be a little bit of a weird month because the first 7 days leading up to the eclipse is kind of wonky, and then it smooths out again, and then around the 21st, well, the 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, then the energy starts to ramp up again. So you'll see that. We also have Uranus that's going to go retrograde in your 4th house of home, feeling, and foundation, so there might be some emotional issues or issues pertaining to the home. But we start off the month with Saturn retrograding back into Pisces for the last time. And so here we have Saturn, which is, went into Aries in your 2nd house of income and value, but now it backtracks into Pisces, at least for the next couple of months. It won't leave this part of your chart until the beginning of 2026. I believe it is in January, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I'll give you a little overview of what that means. Saturn is about restrictions. Saturn is limitations. Saturn is karma. Saturn is, the planet that says, how bad do you want this? How much effort you're going to put in? It's in your sign. And so this is suggesting that the next few months, you are going to change and you're going to have to put a little extra effort into what it is that you want. That's what it's suggesting. So it feels like you're going back in time. You may be drawn back to places you used to be before, or jobs or situations that you've known before in order to get through this period. Okay? And so Saturn is going to be there guiding you along and saying, okay, let's see you make a choice, and let's see you, respond to it. Let's see you benefit from it. And that's what Saturn's going to do all the way into 2026. We have also Mercury entering Virgo on the 2nd, right there. Mercury is about communication, and Virgo is a sign that it rules. But Virgo is very analytical. Virgo is very, critical. And so Mercury entering Virgo already with the sun in there, you are questioning all of your relationships. Are you in the right job? Are you in the right current business arrangement? Are you in the right relationship personally? Is there a relationship? So these are all the things that you're going to be overwhelmed with, in your mind, because Mercury rules the mind. And Virgo is the practical earth energy. So there's a lot of communication here, either with another person or you're analyzing every little aspect of your current situation with others. Uranus goes retrograde in Gemini on the 6th, right there. There it is in stationary position before it starts moving backwards. Uranus in Gemini has got you thinking outside the box. And now that it goes retrograde, it's going to have you thinking outside the box even more. And we add some more emotion to it. But this is the 4th house. This pertains to your foundation. This pertains to your home environment. This pertains to your family dynamics. And Uranus is unstable. Uranus is like, I'm not sure if I need to be here or I need to be there. And when it goes retrograde, you're questioning the moves that you made about your home. Maybe you remodeled and it didn't turn out right. Or maybe you moved away and you're reconsidering it. Or you're not sure where you belong and you want to become like a gypsy. That's the kind of energy we have with Uranus, and then it goes retrograde in the 4th house of home, feeling, and foundation. Okay? This planet will retrograde back into Taurus one last time, and then it'll return back to Gemini again in 2026, the beginning of 2026. So it's another review process. This makes the 4th planet to go retrograde, and they're all the outer planets, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, your ruler, and now Uranus. So these guys are giving you the opportunity to look back and figure out what it is that doesn't work for you anymore. And that's what it's doing. And speaking of not working for you anymore, the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces highlights that 1st house of identity and self. Now, full moon eclipses like this, a lunar eclipse, is about a realization. Are you going in the right direction? Do I need to change my identity again? Do I need to move? Do I need to look at the world from a different perspective? That's what a lunar eclipse in your sign will do. The problem with Pisces is they're so compassionate and giving, which is great, but on the downside is they just don't know. They just don't know themselves, and so what they do is they just go along trying to figure it out until one day, somebody comes along to help them, or they listen to their intuition and they follow that path. And so this one is about intuition. This is about understanding who you are. As I say in a lot of my videos, you're a spiritual being having a human experience, that you've come to a crossroads now, that you have to make a change in the next, I would say, 3 to 6 months. It's not right away. It's not on the date, but it's the next 3 to 6 months. You'll have to make a change. And you have to change your identity, the way you look, the way you present yourself to others. Maybe you're changing jobs. Maybe you're changing relationships. Maybe you're changing, where you live. That is all on the table in the next 3 to 6 months. So this is going to be very profound. So listen to your spidey senses and see what comes of it. You don't necessarily have to make any life-changing decisions, this month, but this is going to open up a doorway, or close a doorway actually, for you in order to make room for something new. Mercury enters Libra right there, 8th house of finance. Now your mind continues to turn to money matters, investments, relationships, because Libra is a sign of relationships, and we already have Mars in Libra in relationships. So there's a psychological component to Mercury in Libra in the 8th house. So you find yourself thinking about the past and thinking about financial matters and investments and all of that as Mercury makes its way through there. Now, Venus enters Virgo. Now, this is a tricky one, and this is where all that other energy starts coming in from the solar eclipse. Here's Venus, which represents partnerships, which represents romance, which represents money, it represents values, it represents the physical side of life, possessions and so on. But in Virgo, it has a tendency to be nitpicky, okay? And you may have somebody in your life at this time, maybe even somebody new that comes into your life at this time, that can be nitpicky or irritated or, feels like they want to control. The good news here for many of you is you will be meeting new people. Absolutely, within the next 3 to 6 months, up to a year, there will be more people into your life, okay, that you either work with or you're surrounded by, or whatever you're doing, because of this solar eclipse in Virgo. And this is right around the same time as Venus enters Virgo. Here we have a solar eclipse new moon in Virgo, your opposite sign. So this is screaming new people, new situation, something that you've never experienced before with other people. This could be like you're moving to a whole new state or a new country. I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying that's the kind of energy we have here. And you're meeting all kinds of new people. And that's the doorway that's opening here. Other people. And Could involve a job. It could involve, whatever you're doing for business. All of that is going to open up for many of you in the course of the next 3 to 6 to 9 to up to 1 year, because that's how long eclipses can take to manifest. Now, Mars enters Scorpio on the 22nd right there. This should help you out a lot because Mars is very much driven in Scorpio in the 9th house, which has to do with long distance traveling, has to do with education, having more fun, exploring, understanding things at a very deep and profound level. And Mars in Scorpio can be very psychic. And so pay attention to your spidey senses. Does it feel right? Does it not feel right? And you've got to learn to trust that. But Mars in Scorpio in the next 5.5 to 6 weeks is going to be a very determined alignment for many of you. And last but not least, we've got the Sun entering Libra on the 22nd right there. Now, this will soften the blow a little bit in terms of, the changes with the people in your life. It still looks like you'll be bringing in new people in your life because the Sun is very friendly in Libra, and it's very much relationship-minded. It's in the 8th house of deep psychological transformation, and this is about other people's money. And so this could be a good time for making money or meeting people that help you with financial matters. All of that stuff is going to be on the table here. And so it looks a lot softer, a little bit more better energy for you in the next month with the Sun going through Libra. Anyway, there's the basic astrology. If you want to know more, I do a deeper dive in my inner circle. And I do extended version of this horoscope in there, and I talk about the aspects and what's going on. I also do a weekly astrology overview video. The members really seem to enjoy that. And of course, every Sunday we're on the Zoom call, and I'm answering questions for the members. Some members send me a chart, and I answer a few questions for them there. Anyway, I left the link down below. There's a 7-day free trial, so check it out, and hope to see you in the community. All right? Have a great month. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.